Welcome back, my student. So today we're going to study about regional economic integration. In this chapter, basically I was talking about what is regional economic integration, what are the level of regional economic integration, what are the level of economic integration, why should countries integrate their economies, why limits effort of integration, and then the status of regional economic integration in Europe, such as EU, EFTA, and what is the European Union, what is the Euro. So some of the part in the chapter I will telling you, but some of the part of this chapter you can learn and you can read by yourself. Let's move on to the next slide. In this slide too, are you familiar with NAFTA? How about the European Union? Do you know what these agreements are and why they are important to international companies? Both NAFTA and the EU are form of regional economic integration, which is agreement between countries in a geographic region to reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers to the free flow of goods, services, and factor of production between each other. In other words, these agreements are designed to promote free trade and, depending on the level of integration, allow the factor of production to move freely between countries. So let's say we are in the Southeast Asia, so we are having regional economic integration that we call ASEAN. So basically it's the same agreement between countries in geographic region to reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers to the free flow of goods, services, and factor production between each other in the country, like Malaysia and Indonesia, Thailand and Indonesia, Vietnam and Indonesia, Thailand with Vietnam, or Filipina with Indonesia. So to get a better idea what is we are getting at here, imagine if the US was actually a group of countries that has signed an agreement to become a political union. As you know, goods move freely between states, as do the factor of production like labor and capital. There are no tariffs that limit California exporting orange to Ohio, for example. Similarly, you don't have to get a permit to work in New York if you live in New Jersey. So workers go where they can be more productive, industries goes where it can be most efficient. So this one example also like people from Malaysia, people living in Johor Bahru, so they can work permit to work in Singapore. So this is the example very near to us. So this one is like a regional economic integration when the government making some good productive to the industry. So actually the idea behind regional economic integration is that without trade barriers, member countries will be better off. However, there is some concern that as more countries become involved in regional agreement, the trading bloc will begin to compete against each other. Let's look at the different level of economic integration and explore some of the trading blocks that exist today. There are 5 levels of economic integration: the free trade area, the custom union, the common market, the economic union, and the political union. A free trade area removes all barriers to trade of goods and services among member countries, but members determine their own policies toward non-members. The European Free Trade Area, or EFTA, between Norway, Iceland, and Switzerland is the most enduring free trade area. Another well-known free trade area is North American Free Trade Area, or NAFTA. We will talk more about NAFTA later. And then a custom union eliminates trade barrier between members and adopt a common policy toward non-members. The EU, or European Union, as custom union, but as we will discuss also later, and you can read in this chapter by yourself, it is a move beyond this level of integration. A common market has no barriers to trade between members, a common policy toward non-members, and the free movement of the vector of production. This is a significant step up from custom union and requires members to cooperate on fiscal, monetary, and employment policies. The EU was common market for many years before moving to the next level of integration. Eventually, Mercosur, an agreement between Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, Latin America, hope to become a common market. The next level of economic integration is the economic union, which involves the free flow of the vector of production between members, the adoption of common external trade policies, a common currency, harmonization of tax rates, and a common monetary and fiscal policy. So again, this is a significant increase in integration from previous level. The EU is currently imperfect example of economic union, as we will discuss later. Not all members have adopted the common currency, and there are still different in tax rate across the countries. Finally, political union. Independent states are combined into the single union where the economic, social, and the foreign policy of members is coordinated. If you think that description could be fits the US, and you are right, the EU also headed toward this level. So in this chapter, in the slide 5, here you can see the different level of economic integration. There is a NAFTA, free trade area, common market, economic union, and political union. Why should countries integrate their economies? Countries integrate for both economic and political reason. We can look the economic reason. We know from our discussion of trade theory in chapter 5 that free trade is beneficial to the countries. Also from discussion before in chapter 7, the various reasons that barriers still exist despite the effort of the WTO. Regional economic integration offers countries a way to achieve the gains from free trade, at least on limited basis, more quickly than would be possible under the WTO process. The political case for integration has two main points. First, by linking countries together, making them more dependent on each other, and forming a structure where they regularly have to interact. The chance for violent conflict and war decrease. Second, economic integration gives the bloc of countries greater clout and make them much stronger politically when dealing with other countries than if they were to act independently. So if integration is beneficial, why doesn't it occur more often? Two key issues limit integration. First, while a nation as whole benefit from integration, some group may actually lose. You might recall that the critics of NAFTA, for example, were concerned about the potential for job loss in the US. If companies shifted production to take advantage of Mexico's low-cost labor. Second, countries that integrate their economies lost some degree of national sovereignty. Integration requires that countries give up some control over monetary policy, fiscal policy, and trade policy. You probably know, for example, that most of the countries belonging to the EU have given up their currencies and adopted the euro instead. Some economists point out that integration only makes sense when the amount of trade is greater than the amount of diverting. True trade creation occurs when the low-cost producer within a free trade area replaces high-cost domestic producer, while trade diversion occurs when higher-cost suppliers within a free trade area replace lower-cost external supplier. What is the status of regional economic integration in Europe? Where we can see such a example of regional economic integration. In Europe, there are two examples. In the EU, which is the world's most integrated group of countries with 27 members, and the European Free Trade Area with 4 members. The EU expected to be the world economics and political superpower. So let's look it more closely. Here you can see the map on the countries that comprise the European Union. As you can see, the original agreement between Belgium here, France, West Germany, Where's Germany? Yeah. And then Italy, Luxembourg is here. Italy, maybe here somewhere is Luxembourg. Expanded to include Great Britain, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Denmark. In 1981, Greece joined the Spain, Portugal in 1986, and 10 more countries joined in 2004, and 3 more in 2007. So what is the European Union? I think beginning from the slide 10 until the next slide, until the slide 28, you can read by yourself, and slide 20x and 29, they will talk about Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, such as APEC or ASEAN. So I think you can read by yourself and study and learning in your home. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have a good day.